always try to be fair to my videos, and you don't hear me say this a lot. I don't know that I really like this camper. Josh, the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV of Coldwater, Michigan. My hometown store. We've got 23 stores nationwide. Here with the 2614BS Rockwood. I've never had a chance to record this one before, and I don't want you to think like I'm on an attack hatchet job. There's some awesome qualities on this RV. If you look at the total length of this, the fact that it packs in a living room super slide and a true queen bed slide that you could even put a little bit bigger mattress into if you wanted, that is terribly impressive. This layout is not personally my favorite, but that doesn't mean it's a bad camper. I'm certainly no authority. It's not my way or the highway. The RV does some things that I just don't like. But you know what? The fact is, it is a pretty popular layout overall, so it's got to appeal to somebody. So what I'm going to do today is try to break down the good, the bad, with the ugly, with everything in between, remove myself from the equation, and let you decide what you like or not. So here's the thing. The funny thing is that I personally feel like Rockwood and Flagstaff are pound for pound some of the very best RVs out there. If you look at features, how well they're put together, the fit and finish, the cost of what you're getting versus everything that you get for it, they are a super strong combination. And again, name the number of travel trailers that you know of within this length that have a true queen bed slide and a big closet up front without being 35 foot long. And a living room super slide. That's a very, very short list. We've also got things like the holding tank heaters, the carpetless nature of the floor plan, including over in the slide out. So it's an easy cleaning kind of thing. It has a monster entertainment center. If you want to be like at a home away from home theater with a big TV right up in your face, this is a good one for you. We've also got it shown today with their expanded solar package, and these now all have a 2,000 watt inverter standard and a laundry list of other awesome qualities. It's just not necessarily my favorite floor plan. So I want to hear from you as we go. What do you think about it? What do you like? What do you dislike? Because at the end of the day, it's your money on the line, not mine, and I wanted to just arm you with the information to make your own decisions. And I can't stress enough, I know I began this video in an uncharacteristic way, but I can't stress enough that doesn't mean this is a bad RV. In fact, I've seen layouts like this from like Jayco. Whitehawk had a thing kind of like this. Sport Trek Cougar had a thing kind of like this. But I've never seen it done with a bedroom slide. And that may totally change the equation for you here, because it does bring some really good qualities to the table. But I want to try to show you the ups, downs, and in-betweens. Now, first of all, Mr. Richard Vale is a regular viewer here, a regular member of the RV Nerd Herd. And when he sees a divided theater seat, he loses his mind. So, Mr. Richard, I do want you to know that that is a cuddle-compliant theater recliner, which is kind of hard to find in the industry, and it's actually sort of nice. I like having the ability of putting the armrest there or gone. That's just me. I don't know how you feel about it. Over here, you can see that, you'll have good window coverage, but on the driver's side of the RV, on the poop side of the camper, not on the camp side of the RV, that is one kind of deficiency that the RV has. And we also have no overhead struts for the cabinet doors, which actually really surprises me, because that's something that Rockwood did for a long time. I'm a little surprised that they did that. I kind of hope for the 2025 models they reverse gears on that element, but that's my 2 cents. I got a feeling I know that everybody would like that, but the thing is, every extra feature you want is going to add another 2 cents or so. And I also want to mention that your reading lights up here, nice little bendy guys, you can be like, where were you on the weekend of the 13th or whatever, like you're doing a police investigation. They do have some USB plugs there. Now, they're not super fast charging. They're, type A USB, not type C. They're not, 3.0s or anything like that. I also want to mention today we're looking at the darker wood tone decor. They do offer a lighter interior color, which is also my preference. So this RV is basically built to the exact opposite of my personal liking. But again, you might look at it and go, dude, this is awesome. I don't know what stick got up your butt, but this thing is great. For instance, these are all now 50 amp service, and you're going to see today This one's outfitted with the standard single 15,000 BTU central air. You may notice they do double duct their air conditioning. There's 2 AC runs always there constantly. And these are what's called vented and louvered, meaning that every single one of these vents can close and turn independently to do a little bit of whatever you want, which is nice. And being 50 amp, the bedroom is prepped and ready if you want to add a second air conditioner. So that is a possibility. We're going to make another sweep around the living room. Going to do a 360 here so I can get you all the storage open. One of the things that one of the reasons I don't get super hot to trot on this is when I see a rear kitchen, I personally have an expectation for like really good big countertop and prep space. And that's not what this one is. But the thing is, Rockwood doesn't call it a rear kitchen. They call it a BS, and that means bed slide, not something else. There's actually a very well acclaimed steakhouse not too far away called Bill's Steakhouse, and one of their slogans is, I love that BS, meaning Bill's Steak, which I think is kind of funny. But let's focus on some cool things here. Bigger microwave than the average bear, about 45% bigger, so an actual dinner plate can fit in there. Like a lot of brands, they have gone standardized and adopted the 12-volt DC compressor fridges. That is that 10-plus cubic foot variety. And I do want to mention that our entry doors in both the bedroom and here in the kitchen living area, they do have privacy shades integrated into them already. So it's not shade prepped, they're already shade installed. And it looks kind of funny because when you look at just the kitchen, you don't see a ton of storage in it. But the fact is, a huge chunk of your storage is kind of over here by the sort of kitchen entertainment pantry area. We got the Tootsie Toaster down below. And like I was saying, I mean, you're staring straight at this sucker. This has an entertainment in your face, buddy. The cool thing is, it's basically, not only does it look cool because it's right next to you, right up in your face, as it were, but it's also hiding that bigger camp kitchen under it, and you're actually going to see how there's some storage above that in a few minutes. They have maintained a little smart command system over here. It's actually telling me, hey, your little stupid battery jumper box is getting low. Thankfully, the 400 watts of solar is keeping us going today. That's I've got a little car jump starter battery on the front of this thing, and the solar package keeping that up and running long enough for me to, run the slides in and out and do all the things that we're doing today for you. This RV does have a couple floor vented heating ducts that even though I have managed to step on that one right there and leave it dirty, it is, I think, generally speaking, not in the main line of traffic. Sorry, I bumped my elbow on something, so the camera got super wonky. But at the same time, it's a floor heat duct. You may not like that. Let's talk some construction points. I really encourage you to watch my Rockwood factory video tours, by the way, if you want to see more of how these things are built. One of the really interesting things here is anything that's load-bearing in this RV has a welded aluminum cage. So the bed base that we'll see, the benches that we're looking at, which you can get a table and chairs, optional, by the way. You don't have to get the booth. Those things are all aluminum framed, as is basically the rest of the RV, the entire structure of the sucker. So there's kind of some cool things that they're doing there. What do we want to do here? Let's dive a little bit deeper. Let's get the first of all, when you do get the booth, the chair, you either have a table with floating chairs or you have a booth with a floating table. Either way, stuff moves, which is kind of cool. And you can see how they actually include plywood drawers under that. And again, it's all aluminum skeleton under there. If I'm not mistaken, there is also a hide-a-bed swaption available instead of that cuddle-compliant theater seat, although I kind of like it how it is, but that's me. The kitchen area here, one thing I'm going to give them credit for, I love that pop-up power tower in that back corner because I think that's a really critical place in the RV that often gets missed and overlooked, like where you're going to keep your various appliances, toaster ovens, coffee makers, all that kind of stuff. But again, if you look at just the kitchen, the storage feels lacking. When you take another step back and you realize that you've also got that huge pantry with triple drawers basically next to the entertainment center by the door, and then bonus storage behind and above the TV, there is a deceptively good amount of storage here. It's just not where you're overtly looking and thinking and maybe used to it. But that's also kind of camping. Sometimes camping is finding a new way to accomplish the same old, because you're kind of playing house. It isn't really a house. And if you don't like that, then maybe this isn't the right floor plan for you. I don't know. Maybe it is. It just all kind of depends on what you're looking for. Now, it is also, I will say, hypocritical. I will fully admit I'm being a hypocrite about this, that I say one of my personal hangups on this floor plan, and I'm probably being stupid about it, is the fact that I see a rear kitchen, but I don't see big counter spaces. Here's the funny thing. If you watch a lot of my videos, you know I like big counter spaces, but I don't tend to, me and my family rather, we don't tend to cook a lot when we're camping in an RV. So big counter spaces, really not that important to me. But for some reason, I'm hung up on it on this one. Maybe I didn't sleep enough last night. Maybe I'm just in a terrible, stupid mood. I don't know. Now again, I like to try to be fair, and I'm doing my toilet selfie champion routine here. I'm going to give you both left-handed and right-handed views of this, because it is a little bit tight. It's tighter for right-handed folks than it is for lefties. The thing is, like, I love the fact that they gave us a bigger full counter space over here, but it also means that it's a little bit tight on the elbows, especially if you're a person of larger stature. Like, I'm tall, but I'm not that wide. I'm certainly not the smallest kid, but, you know, you get the idea. Working away, you know what? Hold on. It just occurs to me. Down here below the sink, I don't recall if I ever... Okay, so there's not a whole ton of storage there because they put paneling in there to protect the plumbing for the sink, which, okay, fine. And it is not a radius shower, which I think some people will enjoy. A radius shower would have maybe made this small bathroom look and feel bigger, but I know a lot of people really don't care for them in the same way that some of us grew up with a really big show on TV. Anybody pick up that reference, by the way? You still have the Shower Miser water saver system here. And a really interesting thing on these, it's a 6.5-foot sidewall, which normally means that my head would be all the way up in that skylight. But look at this. So I'm a little over 6 foot myself. Plus, you know, I've got my my shoes on in that footage, and I can stand cleanly right in front of the shower head without my head in the skylight. That's because this RV has a little mini barreled ceiling, which I think is pretty kind of cool. They also give you handy little shower caddy pockets right here, so you don't have to worry about, you know, where you're going to put your shampoos and body washes. You're going to get a little, maybe look at my nerdy face right there. One of the other things that I want to point out here, and I give them just serious, massive credit for, is the fact that you do have the Fajita Friday Fume Fighter as opposed to the dollar store forage fart fan. And my favorite thing is how you can sort of share the love with the neighbors. You like that, Mark? It's Taco Tuesday! Yeah! Now, one of the things here is because you do have that bigger fan pulling more air, if you want air out, you have to have air in. So this is a case where they do put the bigger thing up there for airflow. Chances are they probably didn't have to do that because air can still come in under the door. But hey, that's what they do. So it is what it is, effectively. Now, you do have a sliding privacy door for everything up front here. But one thing I want to do real quick is I want to back up. I said earlier, I think Rockwood and Flagstaff, pound for pound, are some of the very best things available out there today. And one of the reasons I feel that is the cleanliness of their fit and finish. It is rare. And I've never said any RV is perfect. It is so rare to find a Rockwood or a Flagstaff with like gappy cabinetry or little unfinished areas. They're just really, really good and clean in their execution. The thing is, they pay their workers more, you know, and as a result, Rockwood and Flagstaff tends to be like a destination occupation for a lot of the RV labor force. Like, you don't just immediately get into Rockwood. Like, a lot of times you have to go through some of the other Forest River divisions before you can start to work for Rockwood. And once you're there, they self-police each other because they want to keep their product right. And if someone's not doing the job very well, they tend to kick them out. We call it Amish Mafia style. Now, again, you do have that privacy shade there for the entry door. And if you're worried about sleeping with your friends, I always do that. Not what I meant. Don't cancel me. You see that little red knob? The door is dead-bolted right now. You can sleep alone instead of, I don't know, being accessible to the neighbors. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Don't yell at me. Words are tough sometimes when you're dumb like me. But anyway, they've done this differently, and they do this in a lot of models where they put that big closet across from the bed and not across the nose of the RV. Now, don't get me wrong. That does mean it's a smaller closet, but you're picking up the windshield up here, which can help the room look and feel bigger or not. That's totally up to you, actually, because this does still have a blackout privacy shade, and it does kind of magnet in place if you don't want that, you know, you don't want to put on a free show for the neighbors or something. I'm not sure. You see some household and USB outlets up there. You also see that other black square. That is your controller for the inverter. This RV has a 2,000 watt inverter run to most of the outlets, not all of them inside, but that's enough to be able to fire up a coffee maker in a Walmart parking lot off your household outlets if need be. Again, 50 amp service standard. You can outfit this with a second air as desired. And I mentioned how it's a true queen bed factory standard. Now the trick is where I'm standing, I am not giving you an awesome look at this, and I don't use fisheye wide-angle lenses unless I can absolutely help it, so you kind of get the idea. But that is a 60 by 80 mattress, so if you want to replace it with something else, it's very easy. But notice how you have side stands built right into the bed. Most bed slides in most RVs don't do that, and this thing's doing it in like, what, 30 feet total, give or take, something like that, which is pretty good. You still have your breeze across windows. Remember how the cabinets above the bed, above the dinette, no, above the theater seat, God bless America, in the slide, guys, did not have struts. These are the same way. You also have the same USB charging reading lamps that you have right there. And if you wanted to go with, I'm going to guess you could probably put like a 70 to 72 inch wide mattress in here if you wanted to, but you would have to have those side stands removed, which isn't like super problematic. It's not super invasive. That is a thing that could be done. So you may be what the RV industry calls a king bed capable in here. Also, lifting that bed up, it's very easy lift. It's very good storage space in there. You also don't necessarily always have to lift it because the storage kind of comes to you a little bit, which I think is very, very cool. The closet across from us has a couple big dresser doors, but again, you actually have more hanging closet space like this than a traditional north-south bed. Now, every design has positives and negatives. The second slide on this RV gives us this awesome private sliding bedroom. It also adds weight and cost. Well, you know, everything is a push and a pull. But you might notice you also still have, up in the curvature of the nose, some household and USB plugs over there because they figured, why not? Why not make that a little side stand? And in case you're curious, sorry, I'm laying down on the bed trying to eyeball this thing out of the corner of my eye. Your TV hookups would be located over there. But the thing to remember here, to get us a living room super slide and a bedroom slide in this kind of length, something has to give. And this floor plan, one of its greatest assets is that within this total length of an RV, it focuses on maximizing living space and comfort. The downside is that the road mode had to be sacrificed to a degree. Like, you know, you can walk in, you can get to the sink and the refrigerator, but your seating and your bathroom, well, that stuff's just not going to be available. At least unless you're a toothpick and you can fit through there. My days of being a toothpick are definitely over. I like chicken nuggets too much for that. But the fact is, you know, every RV has some great qualities. They all have some good assets, and they all have some liabilities. And my goal here, again, is to try to represent this as fairly as I can. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes that's harder. Today, it just is what it is. Now, my towing recommendation on this one is really going to depend on the capacities of your truck as well as where you are taking it. Because when you start seeing an RV this length, with a maximum GVW of 9,000 pounds, you're thinking, oh boy, I can half-ton this sucker. But it's got a full bed slide dead on the nose. And that means that this thing carries a chunk of hitch weight. So if you have a really capable half-ton and you're going to stay around modest terrain for short distances, you may be okay. Beyond that, you might actually want to go 3/4. If you're going to tow for any kind of distance, I may recommend actually 3/4 for more reliability. Now, taking a look here, getting that bed slide out of the way because we are right next to the other Rockwood right next to it, I want you to get a look at all the storage under that bed. And I think it's very critical that we do that because that is basically the only significant outside storage that you have on this RV. That's another one of those things where this RV's greatest asset is also its greatest liability. To give you a full bed slide in this size of an RV, they could not support a full front pass-through, as is usually the case with a lot of trailers. So you're going to want to kind of plan accordingly. That might be a problem for you. It may not. I don't know. It just depends on what you feel like doing. Now, last couple years, they offered a couple different exterior looks, kind of like we talked about some interior decor options, lighter, darker wood. Like you see that Wildwood Heritage Glen with the tan skin down there. Rockwoods used to be able to be built looking like that. But the white exterior fiberglass with the graphite accents has really gained popularity, and it is the only way that the exteriors of these come now. So they do offer a couple different interior setups, but this is the only way that they look on the outside now. But I think it looks good. It certainly doesn't offend me any. Now, an interesting thing here, they actually do still have a 1-inch laminated wall, still double Asdel inside and out, even behind the fiberglass nose. What that also allows them to do is throw radiant barrier down that nose and under the belly, where they also have holding tank heaters. So there's some really cool, interesting qualities going on here. You may notice the power stabilizers with the Bananarama yellow, support arms there, and I'll give them credit. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm just being critical of the RV. That's an awesome awning. It's so big it has a center arm support. One thing I will tell you is even if it is lightly drizzling, when you see an awning that is long enough that it requires a center arm support, you are going to want to roll that up on a rainy day. The reason being, the awning is so long, the fabric will kind of bow down in the middle. And even with a little bit of rain, it will actually start to pool up and puddle up in the middle of the awning arm at the worst possible place for a bunch of weight to hit that awning before the auto rain dump feature can fully activate. So kind of keep that in mind. Now, the reason I wanted to show you the David Blaine floating steps there is because Rockwood does an interesting thing. They're adding a gas strut assist on their MORryde stable steps, on both sets of them, by the way, so that you don't got to throw your rotator cuff out flipping the thing up and down. It does include the outside griddle and little side shelf. I just have it all stowed away under the bed, as you saw a few minutes ago. You may have also noticed under the bed was the little coily sprayer hose that would attach right here. What's kind of nice, if you notice, it is a full hot-cold outside utility kind of sprayer, basically dead in the middle of your camp kitchen. Now, the RV does not have a fully plumbed sink, so you're going to have to get like a little wash basin, and keep in mind, a lot of places do not like it when you flip gray water onto the ground, although I know people do it all the time. Places don't like it. Now, it's kind of funny. They give you a griddle for your main course, but they still give you the swing-out two-burner stovetop for your side dishes. But if you don't care about that, with the metal top flip down, I know it's not one flat level. You can always set stuff on it within reason, obviously. It's hanging out over Never Never Land. And it is gas strutted, if you notice. So it's not like if you bump it, it's going to go flying and spill stuff everywhere. And it's become super, super rare to find, any variety of camp kitchen with a bigger fridge like this. So that's a nice little thing I like to point out. Also over here, just a little bit of bonus storage, but even using the pocket screwed cabinetry with hidden hinges out here. And I also really like that they put motion lighting on the light fixture up there, although I've got the power turned off right now, so it's not activating for us. One thing I've skipped over so far, though, I think is one of the most important series of features on this RV, and that's the running gear. Rockwood spends more. Well, hold on. Let me clarify that. Yeah, I guess Rockwood spends more of the running gear, but at the end of the day, you are spending more money on the running gear on a Rockwood than most RVs. That means, I want you to know what you're getting. So first of all, Goodyear Endurance radials that are 87 miles an hour rated with factory standard TPMS, but you might notice how there's no leaf spring hooking those two axles together. It's not an independent suspension. I've phrased that incorrectly in the past. It's been several years, but I've done that. It's similar, but basically, here's the best way I can describe this suspension system. When you're going around a really sharp corner, you know how your body is getting kind of thrown to the outside edge of a sharp curve, like you're getting tossed out of your vehicle, in a sense. That's what gravity's trying to do, centrifugal force, rather. This will attempt to sort of lean into a sharp banking corner, kind of like you would on a bicycle or a motorcycle, and as a result, it rides and handles fantastically. The roof of this is still all aluminum framed. It's a 6-sided aluminum framed RV. It does not use laminated floor. They have plywood, tongue and groove, 5/8 decking on the flooring so you don't get soft spots. They do use a laminated roof though, and it's one of the most solid, walkable roof systems I think I've ever seen. Actually, when we were looking at our floor plan in a flash, you saw how normally you have 200 watts of solar up there. Today's camper is outfitted with that second 200 watt solar panel, but that is optional, so the one in stock could vary. But they always have those max air roof vent covers on these factory standard, which I think is very cool. Now, back here in this corner, this is such a good, smart corner for all of your hookups. I love how they did all this. It's all right back here where it makes the most sense. In case you're curious, that is a gas and electric auto ignition fast recharge water heater. And these are both rack and pinion slides. They're not Schwintek, they're not cable, they're both rack and pinion. And if you're wondering what's behind door number 1, please tell me I unlocked this. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, give me a second, we'll come back to that because I'm an idiot. I do want to mention this RV is a two-headed sewer monster, and right now you're going womp, womp, womp. Back here is the kitchen gray tank outlet. Up front is the bathroom black and gray outlet. Thankfully, neither of them are located directly under slides, so they're easy to reach and accessible. But you are going to have to do the poop scoot boogie. Now the irony is, getting this unlocked, you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot because this is an access panel to your water pump. It's not a storage area. But did you notice all exterior doors are now slam latches, technically compression latches. You see how I have to actually just touch that with my thumb to activate it? But they are all key locked. Ooh, by the way, I got some thigh burden going on. You wouldn't believe the power squats I got to do to get some of these angles sometimes. And one extra little tidbit I noticed as I was kind of opening and closing this one up, with the proximity of the living kitchen entry door and that big camp kitchen flip-up thing, you can, if the camp kitchen door is open, you can hit it with the main entry door. Also, you have to have that camp kitchen door closed and that main entry door all the way open to flip those MORryde steps up and down. And while that kind of sounds like a stupid conflict, I don't think you're normally going to have the camp kitchen door open while you're setting up the steps. I think that probably comes later. I didn't really find that a knock against it. I wanted to help you maybe avoid denting up your doors or something. I don't know, it's just a thing. And it's kind of funny, we have the 2614 that we looked at today sitting right next to a pair of 2608 Rockwoods, which is the same floor plan flipped around in reverse with a front kitchen super slide and rear bedroom slide. I will leave you a link to that one in the video description, assuming I don't forget. Sometimes I make mistakes like that. I make mistakes regularly. You can ask my wife. She will confirm. But in the meantime, let me know what you think about this. Now, to help you out, I'll leave you some links in the video description to check pricing and availability. But remember, there's going to be 2 links or maybe 2 QR codes on the screen, however I managed to do it, because Rockwood and Flagstaff are the exact same thing, but they use different model number designators for the exact same RV in this travel trailer series. Rockwood calls it ultralight, Flagstaff calls it superlight, but they're the same thing. Don't let someone try to smoke screen you into saying one is better than the other. They're not. They're identical. Short of that, let me know what you think about her, and how would you want to equip furniture, color palettes, all that stuff. Leave me a note, let me know. And if you appreciate how, I'm not picky and choosy. I'm not only recording the RVs that I like. I'm trying to get out here and show you all the different things that I could possibly get my hands on. Hit that subscribe button, like our videos, and know that just like today, I'll do my best to always try to shoot you straight in any way that I possibly can. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.